Hi, and welcome to Maville Photography's Tip of the Week. This week we're going to go through tone mapping an HDR image in PhotoMatix Pro out of Lightroom. Like I said, use Lightroom for everything, but one of the great things about it is that you have an export feature out of Lightroom into PhotoMatix Pro, which makes it super simple. I've got my 4 images here that I shot in different exposures for my HDR, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to export with preset and then go to PhotoMatix Pro. It's going to ask me what I want PhotoMatix Pro exactly to do. I do want it to align images because it was multiple shots, and you can just click on whatever you want. Click export. It's going to export the images out of Lightroom, and it's going to pop up in PhotoMatix Pro. And if you're using Lightroom, you should be able to see the progress bar moving up here. If you're not using Lightroom, you can just simply couple of images and just actually drag them right onto PhotoMatix Pro or open PhotoMatix Pro and have it import the files for you just that way. I just find it's easy out of Lightroom because I can save it right back through, and it just drops it right back into Lightroom for me after I'm done in PhotoMatix Pro. And here we go. And our image is ready to go. I'm going to hit tone mapping so we can actually go in and tweak what we're doing here. I like to at least kind of see what I'm doing, so I just bumped it up in size just a little bit. So I'm going to start with strength and go right down through and kind of tweak it the way I want it to look. You can do it however you like in PhotoMatix Pro. I don't like to be too overly fantasy world looking image, but I do like to have a good HDR, which is what this is for. So it's looking pretty decent to start. White point back a little bit, give me a little more saturation. And I want to saturate the highlights because that's where the main warmth of the image is coming from, is those highlights being nice and warm from the setting sun, as you can tell, coming across the planes there. I'm just going to desaturate the shadows a little bit. That's the nice thing about PhotoMatix Pro, it's just got so many tweaks that you can do to it. And it looks pretty good. I'm going to hit process, let it do its thing. Alright, so it's done tone mapping the image, and I'm going to go ahead and save as. Put it right back in the folder where I had the others, and I'm just going to call it HDR. Comes right over to Lightroom. Click import and it brings it right in for you. And there it is, you can see. Popped right in next to the others. I'm going to go ahead. Now I tend to tweak things even after I get done with PhotoMatix, but you don't have to. I'm just going to go in the develop module quick because I see a little spot up here that I don't really care for. I'm going to try and get rid of that. It's just a little sensor dust. It's bugging me. And the sky is where you're going to really see a lot of sensor dust if you're shooting a lot of skies. So just beware of your sensor dust. I see way too many images out there with sensor dust all over it. Alright, I'm pretty good with that for now. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little more contrast because I just like contrast. Even though that's the point of an HDR, is to be able to open up all the details and stuff, I still like a good amount of contrast in an image. Tweak a few things, add a little more saturation, some sharpening, bring things around a good bit. And I'm actually going to change, the sky's looking a little green to me, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is find out where it's at and just change it. It's not changing quite enough for me, so I'm going to have to go ahead and do something about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an adjustment brush. The reason I'm taking an adjustment brush is because this mound of hill is right here, and I don't really want to affect that as much as possible, or else I would just use a gradient. But go right along the sky. Make sure I get it in, and good. Just going to take that exposure right back down again, and if you click on the color, it allows you to bring up a color. And just pick something nice that looks somewhat natural. Maybe back it off just a little bit. And there we go. That is making an HDR image in PhotoMatix Pro using Lightroom. Have a great day, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this.